let us understand about security groups in more detail. If you look at our current state of VPC, we have two EC2 instances running in public subnet as well as private subnet, and the security groups are associated with our EC2 instances. Security group is nothing but the virtual firewall for EC2 instances. It controls the inbound traffic to EC2 instances as well as outbound traffic from EC2 instances. Note that this is not at the subnet level. For subnet level, we are going to look at NACL in subsequent lectures. Let's think about one EC2 instance. An EC2 instance is having security group and associated inbound rules. Now inbound rules, you can add many rules. So in this case, there is one rule is defined of type SSH, protocol TCP port is 22, and source is specified one specific IP. Now this IP address is of my home network. So when you are trying to connect to this EC2 instance from my home network, the inbound traffic will be allowed. But in case you are trying to reach from any other IP address, it won't be allowed. As well as if you are trying to access any other service like HTTP, then also it will not be allowed. Similarly, outbound rules control the traffic which goes out of EC2 instance. Remember that this is something which needs to be initiated from the EC2 instance. So this outbound rules comes into picture only when the EC2 instance initiates the traffic. So in this case, the rule says traffic is all type, all protocol, port range is all, and destination is 0000/0. It means allow all traffic from this EC2 instance. So this way you can control inbound rules as well as outbound rules. Now there are certain parameters which are specified for inbound rules. Let's look at the source parameter. And the source parameter allows you to specify your custom CIDR block. So this could be your VPC CIDR block. So when you use this VPC CIDR block, it means traffic to this EC2 instance is allowed only within this VPC. In some cases, it might be advisable to use a security group. We'll take an example of how to actually use another security group as a source for this security group. Third one is anywhere, and the fourth one is my IP, which is nothing but the specific case of anywhere. It says your external public IP. Typically when you work in a company, then the company might have an external public IP. So the company wants to restrict an EC2 access or SSH access only if the request originates from the company network. So in that case, you can specify your external public IP. Similarly, in the outbound rules, there is one parameter which is called destination. So again, destination decides to which destination the traffic is allowed. So it could be simply CIDR block of VPC, or it could be another security group, or it could be anywhere or your specific IP address. Now it is your responsibility to set these inbound rules as well as outbound rules. This is a shared responsibility model as far as the security is considered. So AWS is responsible for hardware security, physical security of servers and so on, but you are responsible for managing the security for your EC2 instance level. Now let us understand one behavior of security group which is called stateful behavior. Now here your EC2 instance is having inbound rules and allowing traffic on port SSH only if the source is so and so IP. So if the request comes from this IP address for SSH, then this will be allowed, and also you will get the response back. Statefulness means the response is always sent irrespective of the outbound rules. So in this particular picture, there are no outbound rules shown. Whether you have outbound rules or not, the response is always sent to the requester. Even if you add outbound rules, it will not have any impact on the behavior. So this is called statefulness. So it remembers the state of the request and sends the response back. Similarly, for outbound connections, let's say your EC2 instance is initiating an SSH access. From this EC2 instance, it wants to go to the outside world and connect to some remote server. Irrespective of your inbound rules, this will be allowed. So in this case, your EC2 instance initiates a request, it goes to destination, and the destination sends the response back to your EC2 instance. So this is something which will be always allowed irrespective of inbound rules. So if you add inbound rules, then it doesn't make any difference to this behavior. So this is called statefulness of security group. Let's understand security group referring to another security group scenario. Just imagine that you have one database server running and multiple EC2 instances serving your application, and this application is trying to connect to this database. So what you can do, you can create an application security group and attach to all these EC2 instances. and then you can say that on the DB security group is allowing access to app security group. So in this particular example, you can say MySQL is the database running, protocol is TCP, port range is 3306, source is custom, and you say app security group, which is nothing but this is the security group. So what is the benefit of this model? Currently we are seeing 3 EC2 instances over here, but tomorrow you add one more EC2 instance having the same application. So in that case, you can just attach the app security group to that EC2 instance, and there is no need to have a separate EC2 security group and do any modification for the DB security group. So this way it can help you to manage your security groups in much better way. So far we have been looking at security groups, and we always say that the security group is attached to an EC2 instance. But if you look at this more technically, it is actually attached to a network interface. Security groups are associated with network interfaces which are attached to EC2 instances. It is possible to change the security groups associated with the network interfaces. So we will look at network interfaces later, but before we look at network interfaces, we will just take a quick look at security groups in action.